Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to She Boss Talk. I am Shantae Arati. I am coming on today to debunk the myth that the EIDL grant is a scam. So we're definitely going to talk about it because we definitely want to make sure that entrepreneurs and small businesses don't let the fact that they think it's a scam prevent them from getting access to almost $15,000 for your business, because you want to just think about what can your business use a grant for. And there's still billions of dollars out there. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. What are the requirements? What makes you eligible? How to overcome the denials, how to overcome getting stuck, so you can get approved and get funded for your business. So do come on in. I see you all joining. I want to make sure no one misses this. So as always, I'm just going to welcome you all in. Just let me know who you are, where you're hailing from, and what your business is, especially if you are new here to our channel. Thank you to all of our subscribers. We appreciate your continued support. If you have not subscribed already, I encourage you to subscribe. We are the first place that gives you the most updated information on the new stimulus programs, grant, other types of funding, and information that is really going to help move your business forward. That's going to help you pivot in your business, scale your business, whatever you're trying to achieve in your business to get to that next level. That's what we talk about here on our channel. We don't just talk about it. We give you the information, the resources, and tools you need to be successful in business. So we get emails and messages every single day. So I'm really good about responding as best as I can, as busy as my schedule is. But I want to make sure that, we're successful, but I also want to make sure that every single one of my viewers are successful as well. Do give this a thumbs up, hit that love button wherever you're viewing in from, so more people can see this video, because that's why I'm doing this video today, because literally there are millions of business owners out there have no clue that these programs exist. They may or may not see it in their email, looking over it, and they're missing out on free money. We talk about this all the time. It's great to have a loan, right? And there are loan programs out there from the SBA, but grant money is the best money to get. Why? Because you do not have to pay this money back. Okay. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. And please, as always, leave your questions. If you have questions, if you're already in the process and you have questions or challenges, please leave them. I'll try to answer them while I'm on the air here. So again, the title of this is EIDL Grant is a Scam with question marks, because people do think it's a scam. They see the word advance, EIDL advance, and they don't think that it is real. So they overlook it, they roll their eyes at it, they delete it, whatever the case may be. So I want to make sure, if that is you, that I am talking specifically to you all, right? Those that have not responded to the invite from the SBA. The SBA is the Small Business Administration. They are a legitimate, well-known federal government agency. And how you know if you're receiving any information correspondence from the SBA is that it will have a .gov for the extension. So if you're receiving an email that says SBA, doesn't necessarily mean it's the SBA. You're looking to see, does it have .gov at the end? If it has .com, .net, .org, or some other extension, it is not the SBA. So what I would encourage you to do, even if you have a question or you're leery, don't ignore the email correspondences that are coming to your inbox. Okay. Do not ignore them. Read them, evaluate them, look at the email address. So that will tell you right away if it is something that you need to pay attention to and act on swiftly, because that is exactly what you want to do. So I see you all out there. I'm assuming you can see me and hear me clearly. Just let me know out there. So I want to make sure you all get all of this information. So the SBA has sent out 11.8 million emails to small business owners that are eligible or potentially eligible to apply for the targeted EIDL advance. That is another word for grant. Okay. So it is free money for your business. They sent out 11.8 million emails. They also sent out, as far as I'm aware of, 2 reminder email, mass reminder emails, letting business owners know that this program is available. So today, and as of the 8th, July the 8th, I just looked at the latest report. The SBA has funded $2.2 billion. So they have funded small business owners in the amount of $2.2 billion out of the $30 billion that is available. So that is a lot of money that is still available for entrepreneurs and business owners to apply for. So that is you. If you can think, did you apply to the EIDL loan program last year? If you applied last year, you should have already received an invite to apply with the SBA. If you applied or plan to apply in 2021, they recently opened it up. They expanded it, right? So I talked about that in a previous video of the expansions that are coming. This is one of the ones that have already been announced. Emails have started going out already to notify you that if you applied in 2021, you can also apply. So, but again, the emails have gone out, but to very poor responses. Okay. So I will get to those that have applications already in just a second, and that's going through the process. But I want to start with those that have not yet applied to the SBA. I believe it's like 1 in 5 emails have actually been open. And they did a survey and found that one of the main reasons why is that business owners think it's a scam. Okay, so not everything is a scam. Just do your due diligence. Okay, so make sure that you're not only looking at your inbox, but look at your spam folder as well. I regularly, every day, check my inbox and check my spam folder and promotional folder if I have one, just depending on the email system that I'm using. Too many times, important emails go to your spam folder. It's not always spam, right? I was just corresponding the other day regarding the Community Navigator grant, and I met with a potential collaborator, sent him an email and replied to his email the very same day. But why did my reply go to his spam? Okay, I simply replied to the email. So you never know what email may come to you that's important that you're looking out for that missed your inbox and went to your spam folder. So this is very important that you check both of those. So you should see an email from the invite from the SBA. Now, make sure you're going to the email you used when you applied to the program, whether it was 2020 or 2021, okay? But for most people, they applied in 2020. And some people forget what emails they use, what numbers they use. They may have shut down their emails. That is a no-no when you're going through this type of a process because, again, it's going to cause all kinds of problems and delays, hold you up in getting your money. You want to eliminate any reason for delays on your end for not being able to get access to your money. So I've seen that happen before where applicants forgot what email they even used to apply. The SBA is going to send you an email to the same email that you used to apply when you initially apply for the program in 2020. And when you apply, you did apply for the loan and you applied for the advance. If you apply for the advance, that meant you checked that checkbox. That is no longer there, but it was there up through July, the beginning of July of 2020. But regardless if you check the box or not, it has opened up this program to basically everyone who applied. That they will be sending you an email invite. And even if you aren't in a low income community, they were sending the invites out for you all to be able to apply, because when they send you the invite, when you start the application, they give you access to be able to update your information, knowing that people's information has changed. People's bank accounts change, numbers change, emails change, and business address locations have changed as well. Okay, so again, this is a reminder that this is potentially up to $15,000. How does this work? Is by invite only. So if you're not invited, you can't apply, right? So you have to wait to get the invitation. It initially was only for those that applied in 2020. It opened up to those in 2021. Here are the qualifications as it stands. things are changing all the time. So we continue to advocate and push for more expansions, more business owners be able to get access to the program, and there's still time and still funding available. You want to make sure you apply while the funding is available, because it is first come, first serve with regards to this program. So there's the 10,000 or the balance thereof, just depending on if when you applied, if you applied in 2020, this pertains to you. If you applied in 2021, it doesn't. But if you applied in 2020, you got a partial grant and you did not get the full 10,000, then you will qualify for the balance thereof. So if it was 2,000 you received, you will qualify for 8. If you didn't get any money because they ran out of funding, you will get the full 10,000. That's me. That happened to me. Okay. So I fell into that category. Those were the waves or the phases that they rolled out this program for. Those first that had gotten some money, and then the second wave were those that got nothing because they ran out of funding. They have already started rolling out, sending those invites, and people, businesses are in process for those. In order to qualify for the up to 10, then you need to be in a low income community. So that has been a point of contention with a lot of people, right? A lot of applicants. But for the purpose of this discussion right now, there are many people have businesses in low income communities that still haven't applied. So let's get you applying. Okay. So if your business is in a low income community, right? So that means your brick and mortar. If you're a home-based business like myself, that means my business address and my home address are the same. That is the address that I'm using. That is the address that I use. That's how I apply and was able to qualify and get the grant. You must also have 300 employees or less and be able to demonstrate a 30% decrease in gross revenue, gross receipts, gross sales. So I give you these different terms because everybody knows that doesn't know all of these terms when it comes to financials, even if they're running a business. I mean, I can tell you how many people I talk to on a daily basis don't track their sales, don't really know what that means, but they've made money in their business. It's what you made in your business. Is not what you made as a W-2 employee. It's not other grants that you've brought in. It's not any unemployment compensation. It's sales you brought into your business. Did you have a 30% decrease in gross sales in 2020 compared to the same period in 2019? That's all you have to be able to show for the 10,000. Now, in order to get the supplement, because people ask me, okay, well, how is it 15,000? I thought it was 10,000. It is. There is a supplemental grant of $5,000. Okay. And so this 5,000, in order to qualify, you must have 10 employees or less. Okay. So you see that change. You must still be in a low income community, and you must show a greater loss of 50% or more in comparable periods. In comparison from 2020 and 2019, that same period. So if you had a loss, significant loss in 2020, second quarter, let's just take myself an example. That was my hardest hit quarter, was second quarter. So that's what they looked at, all quarters. They looked at 2019, they looked at 2020, they looked at 2021, and they were looking for a match to see, is there any period of time in here that there was a decrease of either 30% for the 10,000 or 50% for the 5,000? Yes or no? If yes, you get the grant. If no, you don't. Now, if they made an error or you made an error, I've seen both. You can appeal, submit a request for reevaluation, and get it overturned and get approved. So I've helped many people be able to do that. So just because you're denied does not mean that you are out of the running, that you cannot get the grant. But you must be able to demonstrate that in order to get approved for the grant. So don't hesitate. So that is the process. When you get that email, you're going to click on it. It's going to open up that application form. It takes 21 days. That is the target time for them to issue you a determination of approved or denied once you submit the application. Okay. So they have that period of time. We know for many, it has been longer than that. I think it was around 30 days for me to get my 10,000 from the time I submitted to the time I was approved. I went through my verification. So they will issue you a determination. So before they actually approve you, or they're planning to approve you, you will get a phone call and an email to verify for you to verify your information. Okay, they go through a whole verification process with your ID, your questions about who you are, and the like. Okay, if they verify it, they will tell you you're approved, and then your status in your portal will be updated to approved. So it goes, the statuses in your portal go from process to submitted to approved to funded. Okay, so if you're still in process, that's a problem. So it could be your fault, it could be their fault. So we've done videos on this. It's not always the SBA's fault that you're still in process. Because some of you are in process and don't know that you're the one that didn't move to the next step to make sure that it moves to submitted. Then once it's submitted, it means it's actually with a loan officer, a loan specialist, and actually being reviewed. Once you go through the verification process, it moves to funded. It moves to approved. Then once it's approved, then it may take days or a couple of weeks for it to move to funded. It only took a couple of days. I believe it was a holiday weekend, and it literally took 4 days. And that's just because of the weekend for us to get the deposit in our accounts. So I can speak to the fact this is not a scam because I actually got the grant. I waited like many a long time, a year and a half, because I didn't get anything in 2020. I waited a year and a half to get approved and get funded. So it was very exciting. It was well worth going through the process, whereas many people, right, gave up on the process like long time ago and was like, okay, they threw the white flag. I'm not doing that, because if I know there's something that I deserve, that I'm entitled to, I'm going to work for it. Whether it's fair or unfair, that really doesn't matter to me, because a lot of things aren't fair. And it's basically, how hard are you willing to work for it, right? How long are you willing to stay in the game, right? So that you have to be in it for the long game. Nobody said that this process was going to be easy. Now you can make it easier, for do your part, but once it's in the hand of the funder or the SBA, whoever's processing it, that all that is out of your control. Okay, so there's things you can do while you wait. You just wait, but you want to make sure you've done everything that you can do. You submitted all the correct and accurate information, and I can tell you a lot of people have not. Right? So although you want to respond quickly, you want to be thorough and make sure you're not speeding through the process to the point where you're not submitting an accurate application. So I've seen that happen a lot of times, right? And people come back and say, well, what do? I submitted the wrong thing here, or I submitted the wrong thing there. I uploaded the wrong document. What do I do, right? So you have to be active in this process. It's not a situation where you want to be passive. You must follow up with the SBA. They have email addresses and phone numbers. Now, I have never had a problem getting through with the SBA. And I call, I will email, but I'm a believer you need to pick up the phone. Email is okay, but picking up the phone, talking to a real human person that you can work through your application with is so important. So that's what helped me get unstuck. And I wasn't stuck for a long time because I follow up regularly. And it was because of that. And I got on the phone. I was like, I want to make sure that you have everything you need from me, that there's not anything missing. And there was something missing. I hadn't hit a button that I needed to push. Now I saw that button, right? It said submit for processing. But I'm looking at the statuses below, right? They're all activated. It says it's processing. So I'm thinking, is this processing? I don't want to mess anything up. But I called to double check. And the lady was very nice. She said, well, I'm seeing that you have not hit the submit button. Oh, I said, I was looking at that. I wasn't sure if I should hit that button. So I need to hit that button. Is that correct? I'm asking, right? I'm confirming before I do it. And she said, yes. And she explained the reason you do that. If you don't do it, then it will continue sitting there as processing, right? It will not be seen or reviewed by a loan specialist. So I'm like, I'm not holding up this process. I hit that button. That's all it took for me to hit the button. And I hit the button and the process went quickly after that. Right. And so I was just right before my 21 days because I was monitoring. I'm like, okay, it's getting close to the 21 days. I haven't heard anything. So if it's close to your 21 days and you haven't called or you haven't emailed them, that's a problem. OK, so you need to be calling them and asking for a status and just making sure if they say it's something on their end, it's on their end. There's nothing you can do. But what you want to make sure is that it's not something on your end that you are holding up the process. Okay. Now, if for some reason, there was an error, okay, you cannot go back to the portal. You are not reapplying, right? If it's an error, you're denied. You do not reapply. You do not submit a new application. You cannot, okay? You need to call them and inform them that you made an error. There was some mistake, and see if they can update it on their end. If they can't, you may have to just wait for the decision to be made, or them to reach out to you and say, we need XYZ information, or you're declined because of XYZ reason. And then you fix the problem when you submit your appeal, which is a request for reevaluation. That is the process. Okay. So I want to make sure that you all are clear on that. But this is a real grant program, up to $15,000, that many millions of entrepreneurs still have not bothered to apply for because they think it's a scam, or because they think they're not qualified, right? Or because they were denied the loan, they think that they're going to be denied the grant when they're two separate processes for both. Okay. So I want to make sure that you are clear on that. If you have any questions, just apply anyway. We have tons of explainer videos. We have an entire playlist dedicated to the EIDL program. And if that is not enough, we have one-on-one consults, right? So there you can definitely get help. What I don't want you to do is apply and you don't know what you're doing. So that's why we develop resources like the Win Grants with Ease Masterclass bundle. We have the Winning Grants application cheat sheet and checklist that will help you whether you're applying for a grant, a pitch competition, or other types of funding, other stimulus programs. Is going to set you up for success, because I still continue to see so many people applying and they have no clue what to do. They have no clue what to do. So if you don't have a clue, you don't know if what you're submitting is right or wrong, and then you're going to get denied. But thank God they implemented a reevaluation process that they did not initially have, to allow you to be able to appeal, correct whatever your error is, and submit the appeal and get approved and funded. So that has happened. Okay. So, that's why I want to make sure I'm taking you through this process to show you how to win it, how to get approved, how to be able to overcome the challenges. Okay. And if it takes months, it takes months. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. It's a waiting game. So that's why I tell everyone, there's no standard except the 21 days to issue you a determination. There's no other standard for how long it takes to move from this process to this process. And there's nothing to say how long it's going to take once you're approved to get funded. It could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months. Okay. But what I can tell you is the process has sped up. Okay. Because it was going really, really, really slow. And then now they're up to $2.2 billion that has gone out the door. That is in applicants' bank accounts at this point. That was a huge jump from where it was. So we know that they're really expediting the process. So whatever they're doing is sped up, and that's because people are advocating. It's because people complain. It's because people reach out to their local congressmen and women and saying, "What is going on? I've been in this process for months and months and months." So you've been in a process for months and months and months. There, you can wait, and while you wait, you need to be using your power and using your voice. Whether that means you're calling your governor, whether that means you're calling your local congressmen and women, which I would highly recommend, because they can help expedite the process, whether it is the grant or the loan that you're applying for. But you do have to give them signed permission to be able to see your information and to be able to work on your behalf to expedite the process for you. That has helped a lot of people. So if you've gone as far as you can internally, like with the SBA, and you're just not moving anywhere forward, then you get your congressmen and women involved. Okay. So you can move it forward. They already know, the SBA knows that there is a holdup with the IRS and in their processing of tax returns. They know that. So I mentioned in one of our other videos of the procedural notice that went out regarding the 4506C that has the potential to, in the upcoming days and weeks, impact how they the process for 4506T temporarily, because they know that the IRS is well behind in processing tax returns. So that is one thing that will hold up your application. If you were a late filer of your 2019 tax returns, that will hold up. That would really delay your process and cause you to be denied. And so then I would tell you to submit a request for reevaluation. So I know some people that are still in that process. Now they may deny you again, but what we're waiting for is for them to expand it to put out another procedural notice regarding the 4506T, because this has affected many who have already applied to the program. Okay. So, and there are fewer that have really applied to the program. That's why there's so many, that's why there's so much funding still left, like just short of $28 billion left in the program. So this is very important, no matter where you are in the process, if you're just applying. So those of you want to explain to you, if you have not already applied for the EIDL loan program, let me know in the comments. If you have not already applied, this is your opportunity. Apply to the EIDL loan program. Just like I talked about in 2020, we did a video that has gotten almost 60,000 views at this point, and I was going back to that video yesterday, provided an update in the comments and in the show notes for those people that are going through that process, because you want to go back to that video. That's the EIDL. It tells you exactly step by step how to apply to the EIDL loan program. But because the old grant advance is gone, people are still asking, where's that checkbox? You won't see a checkbox for the grant. You apply for the loan now. So if you haven't applied, you apply for the loan, you go through that process. Once you apply for the loan, then the SBA, and I don't know how long it's going to take them, okay, to send you an invite. Once you apply for the loan, the SBA will send you an invitation to apply for the targeted EIDL advance. And when they send it to you, you will be applying for the targeted and the supplemental at the same time. There's a little box that says, do you want to be considered for the supplemental grant? And you are going to say yes. You're going to check yes for that if you want to be considered for the extra $5,000 that takes you up to the $15,000. Okay. Now, in order to qualify or be approved for this grant, you do not have to accept the loan. It's the same as the last time. You do not have to accept the loan. But if there's many millions who have applied, many more millions that applied for the loan than have applied for the grant. Okay. So if you need the loan, take it, right? It's a great loan, long-term loan. There's a difference between short-term and long-term. Great interest rate, 3.75 for for-profit, 2.75 for for-profit businesses. So they are processing, from my understanding, those quickly, new loan applications. So if you accept it, it doesn't matter for the grant. And if you are denied, it does not matter for the grant. The point is, were you eligible for the loan program, meaning that your business had to have been in operation and be able to prove that as of January 31st of 2020. Okay. So your business had to be in operation as of January 31st of 2020 to qualify for the EIDL loan program. That is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. Okay. So then you do that. Then you will also get an invite. So they expanded it out, and that is your opportunity to get up to $15,000. So again, it's up to you to apply. And then make sure that you monitor your inbox for updates on that loan, and then updates also on the grant. Now there is a portal. So I highly recommend that you access your portal. Some still say they can't. I have provided numerous times the access to the portal link. You will see it if you go back to that video in the EIDL loan application on our YouTube channel. It will be there. Go to our channel, type in EIDL application step by step, and it will pull up. Or simply go to our EIDL playlist, and it is there in the show notes. You will see the exact link. Or you can just go to the SBA.gov and go to the COVID-19, go down to the EIDL program, and then the application will be there. Okay. So again, this is your opportunity to get up to 15,000. I have personally a testimony that I received both grants in 2021. It was a long time coming, but it was well worth it. And it has really helped my business. So just ask yourself, let me know in the comments, how would this grant help your business? And for those of you that have gotten the grant, please let our viewers know, because they ask a lot of times in the comments, do you have anybody going through this process? Has anybody gotten it? Has anybody overcome a denial? Has anybody gotten their loan increase? If you have, if you have a testimony that you've been funded, you've gotten a grant, let us know in the comments, and let us know, how are you using the money to really move your business to the next level? This will help a lot of our viewers that are still going through the process, right? So that they can, keep hope and keep going, keep pushing, staying the course until they eventually get it. So we know that there's much more work to do to make sure that everybody that should have the grant gets the grant, because we know with these, with the requirements, it is locking out some businesses from being able to get access to the grant, right? So low income neighborhood, if they're across the street, if you're not on the map, and the map will show you, there's a map, it's on the website, on SBA's website under targeted EIDL grant, and you can click on that, put your zip code or address, and be able to see if you are in if you are in a low income community. Let me see. I just wanted to make sure that I address everything. There's so much regarding this program, so many questions that people ask me. But I also have a video again on the top 5 reasons for denial. So definitely want to check out that video. But right now it's the tax transcripts. I've seen with people, they're not being able to verify your business. There's a way to overcome that, but you have to have documents. You have to be able to prove that you are a legitimate business. And for far too many, just conversations I've had before I came on live here, and I'm talking to people about their business, and they've been in business many years and have not set up a business bank account. And they were just taking Cash App or using cash and have no way to track what they made. That's crazy to me. Okay. So, but you start where you are. So if that's where you are, it's so easy to get a business bank account. Get your EIN, have a business name that is, you can legally call yours. So you want to check and make sure it's available, and then set you up a business bank account. You can open them for $0 or $25, $50 or $100, just depending on the bank. And you can get it open the same day. Some are, some are online. Some that you go into the office. But set it up. Stop using your personal accounts for business transactions. You doing business transactions using your personal bank account does not make that a business bank account. It is not a business bank account. And your bank doesn't even see it that way. That's why so many people have gotten stuck. Their banks shut down. SBA funds held because they didn't have appropriate account for SBA funds, and it threw up red flags because they're used to seeing you have small deposits, and one day you're trying to deposit $15,000. That's a red flag to banks. So you need to let them know in advance, hey, I'm applying for grants. I'm expecting, and this is what I did when I opened up my newest bank account, and I told them how much I would be expecting, a lot of money potentially, because I was applying for a lot of grants and I was getting them. Right, and continue to get awarded grants. So you're talking about thousands of dollars in each hit coming through your bank account. So I wanted to let them know in advance, so it wasn't like a fraud alert, right? So that's what I did. Let them know. Make sure that they accept ACH debit, right? If it doesn't, you're going to cause yourself delays. Okay, make sure that your bank account will accept that type of payment, and make sure it will accept the amount that you're expecting to be deposited or you're expecting to win. Because if you don't, again, you may lose the funds, or it's going to cause a delay in you getting the funds. Okay. So if you're going through the process and you get funded, and then the time you get funded, then there's an error that shows up. That means there's an issue with your bank account. So I've gone over this before. There is a process that you can go through if that is your situation, to fix your bank account so that you can get access to your funds. So it doesn't mean that your funds are lost. It hasn't been redistributed to someone else. It is still yours, but you need to move quickly to resolve whatever that banking issue is, so that you can get your bank deposit. Okay. So with that said, I hope that has been helpful to you. I'm just going to go through here. I see a lot of the comments here, just seeing if there's any any pressing questions here. So yeah, I know, again, there's a lot of people that are really frustrated by the fact that they can't, the low income community, there's nothing we can do except continue to advocate and then wait to see when they expand it outside of low income communities. Now, the requirement for 30% of the decrease, make sure you're calculating that right. If you need the help, I mean, we have the videos, but if you need more help, book. But my calendar get filled up quickly. So I only have limited spots for one-on-one consults, but it's worth it to get $15,000. Why lose $15,000? Because you don't know how to fill out a table. And we can show you how to fill out a table. But the thing is, you need to be able to go back and find out what you made in sales every single month in 2019, every single month in 2020, and every single month in 2021 up to July. Well, they may have up to June because we're still in July. But people have had a lot of problems with how to fill out that table to demonstrate that they have a 30% or 50% loss. That is a major issue. And it's just because they don't know how to do it and they haven't been tracking their sales. I tell people all the time, you need to stop using Cash App. Okay, stop. Even if you use cash, you can use Square portal or PayPal little on the go on your phone app and track the cash that you're getting and issue a receipt so you see it, right? So if you're using PayPal, Square, Stripe, or any type of system like that, your accounting system, you should have those transactions. They're already there. That's why they're so important. I don't care if you just starting out in business. I don't care if you haven't made money in your business or you made very little money. These are requirements. This is what you need to do. If you want to set yourself up to be able to get more funding, be able to get more access to more opportunities, you need to do that. And the other thing is, the biggest thing is why people are getting denied, not only just the tax returns not being on file, with the IRS not having processed it, but there's still a lot of business owners that didn't even file their taxes, period. And they contact me all the time, right? I didn't file my 2019 taxes. I didn't file my 2020 taxes. I didn't file my 2018 taxes. If you have a business, you are operating a business, I don't care if you're making money or not, you need to have that business on your tax returns. Again, it has prevented people from getting easy money. Easily, they would have qualified for thousands of dollars in free money. They would have qualified for even loans. I mean, outside of grants, they want loans. They cannot get it because they don't have any record of the transactions that they made. They don't have a bank account. They have no tax returns. And so either they're looking at your credit or they're looking at your cash flow to be able to fund you, or both. And more, they're looking at your cash flow over your credit. Okay. And so that's what we do. We provide a lot of funding. And I'm an independent agent of David Allen Capital. We have a new product, which is offers $20K, up to $20K same day or next day. But a lot of people have been declined because they don't have a business bank account. Okay. Simply because they don't have a business bank account. So know what you need to do up front and then work to make sure that you get those things in place so that when you do need funding, you can get it. It's easy. Okay. We want to make it easy, but you have to start now. Start where you are. Start now. Make a plan. Start getting those things in process, right? Incorporate your business. Get an EIN, get a business bank account. Every business should have those things. So people ask me, why can't I, what's wrong with being a sole proprietor? It's very risky. It's the simplest way to start a business and riskiest. And you are considered high risk for any funder. So while the SBA as a sole proprietor, you can get it, that's because this is an emergency. It's COVID, it's a pandemic. So they opened it up to gig workers, 1099s, independent contractors who are not doing business in a structured way, right? Thankfully, you're able to get access. But for all the other grant programs, loans, and things like that, it will be very hard for you to qualify for those programs. So take advantage of the SBA grant if you can get it. And then work to get your business positioned to get more money, get more funding. Yes, no, they're not accepting 2020 taxes in lieu of 2019. They will look at your 2020, but they were, 2020s were just processed in April, and we already know they're behind on that. If they're behind on 2019, they're definitely behind on 2020. The biggest holdup is that you should have had they're looking at your 2019 taxes, right? For those that were in business in 2019. Now, if you were in business in January for this program, then you would not have 2019 tax returns. Then they will be looking at your 2020. And then you may not get it if you started in 2020 because they're looking to see if you had a loss. And if you weren't in business in 2019, you can't show loss. So this tells us, again, there's still work to do to make sure more people more businesses that get access to this funding. Because that happened to our newest business, is that we didn't qualify because we started in 2020. Okay. So, but the original terms didn't have that requirement. So that's why we continue to fight, because that business is still get the grant because we were entitled to it from the beginning in 2020 under the CARES Act. So that's why we continue to fight. So we have someone that's gotten approval but not funded. Think Feminine, how long have you been in the approval process? So yeah, let me know how long you've been in the approval process, because it really shouldn't take that long once you've been approved. It took us literally days, a few days, and it would have took less if it had not been a holiday weekend. Okay, so we have another person. They received the grant and supplemental. It took about 2 weeks, she said, filling out the application to get the total funding. You cannot apply for this grant more than once. Several people have asked me that. Now, if they do open it up for you to be able to do it more than once, I'll let you know, because I will be the first one in line to apply. But no, you cannot get it twice. They're trying to make sure as many businesses get access to it before they do something like that. Her targeted advance, it still says submitted in the portal for 2 weeks. Okay, two weeks is short. If it's been 2 weeks, a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that's short. Okay. And you can always follow up for a status or check your portal for a status. That is short period of time. Nobody has overcome being in a low income community that I know. None. They go by the map. So for those that are asking about how they determine low income community, it's IRS code, and they have a map that shows them where it is. Now, if you can somehow get them to understand that you're in a low income community, but again, you have to be able to show proof, because they're going based on their map. So you have to go back to that map, show them kind of where you are, where you fall on that map, and demonstrate how that you're in a low income community. Because in every state you can Google it and find out where the low income community is compared to the state median. Okay. Somebody is asking, they work for Uber. I had this question before. This is for all types of businesses. So if you're Uber or Lyft driver, you do Uber Eats, any type of gig worker, independent contractor, 1099 worker, you qualify for this program. Is most of these types of workers that don't know that they qualify. It's not really, it is some of the small business owners, but it's really these type of workers that don't know that they qualify. They haven't thought to look at their emails because they're not really consistent in that way. But if you are a gig worker, this is for you. So check your email, check your spam. If you have not gotten an invite, then look out for one. And if you haven't applied to the EIDL program, apply for the loan, then get invited to get the grant. There is still time. You can still do it. Finally, increase the loan. So really quickly, for those of you all that have applied for your loan increases, I'm getting hearing from many of my peers that they are getting their increases. They are expediting the process. So we know that has been slow moving. Many of you all have been waiting for months and months and months to get your loan increases approved and funded. It is now happening. So they're speeding up that process. So congratulations to you all that are getting your increases. Just really quickly, if you get the loan now, if you apply for the loan now, you're automatically considered for the update in the increase. Because what happened is they have restricted it from the 2 million to 150,000. When Administrator Gunsman got into her position under the Biden administration, she increased it to $500,000 max. So it went from a 6 months working capital to 24 months of working capital. Okay, so that's a big jump. And now they're working to bump it up to the 2 million. So that's if you can qualify for up to 2 million. Every business is different, but that's a substantial increase. And I can't tell you how many millions of businesses need the loans, right? Need the grants. There's still many they need funding any way they can get it. I talked to a gentleman the other day about the grant. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not really concerned about the grant. I want the loan." I'm like, it's good to want the loan, but you should want the grant because it's free money. You don't have to pay that back. But I know the loan is a larger amount, but every business, you will need variations of funding to help support your business and to be able to grow your business. For increase, should I email the reconsideration? In your portal, if you have access to your portal, there is an option for you to request an increase in there if you have already been funded. If not, yes, shoot them an email and let them know. Make sure you include your application number that you want to apply for an increase and how to go about doing that. Because at first it was you emailed them. Then they changed the process. So they've changed the process a few times regarding these programs. So the SBA portal won't register your email, although you got the invite and submitted it. Okay, that's not a big thing as long as you can call the number and get a status and make sure you did everything right, submitted all your information correctly. You should be good. So I wouldn't, the not having a portal is not going to hold up your process. Someone is saying they had no 2019 taxes after sending them through the email. So we went through USPS. We have yet to hear from them. Help, they are stuck. Okay, so we again have videos. You need to clarify that question. So if you just sent in 2019 taxes, they're not gonna have them. They're not gonna have them. I'm sorry. You want to get them in, but the IRS is not going to. They're so backlogged. Okay. The loan is priority since grant is ruling many out of low income requirement. Gotcha. Okay. So make sure that when you uploading documents too, they are legible, that they're viewed, they're not distorted, that the images aren't distorted, or that's going to be a problem. They're going to reject them. So whatever they're asking you to submit, whether it's ID, your ID, photo ID, passport, or tax 4506T, or some other type of document. Somebody told me that they requested the 2202, which is scheduled liabilities. That was the first I heard of that. We did not have to submit a 2202. We did have to submit a 2202 for the loan, not the grant. But they said that they asked for it for the grant. So if you go to our EIDL reconsideration video, it goes through all that process, how to submit a reconsideration and get approved for it. And we provide templates on our website as well. So that is the EIDL grant. Go get it if you haven't gotten it already. If you've been denied, don't stop there. Go through the process and appeal to help you get approved. While you're doing that, be calling your congressmen and women if you feel like any part of this is you're not being treated fairly, or you've been held up, in the process, and they're not, responding or moving your application forward. Share your story. So the stories you all send to me all the time, you need to be sending that to people that are in leadership that have the power to make decisions. So definitely make sure you're sharing your story with others. Don't be afraid to take it to the news. I'm trying to get on the news on the news to talk about all, the grants, the COVID, and some of the disparities in getting access to funding to business owners who need it. There's still a lot of disparities and inequities with distribution of, funds and grants. But the resources are here. So if you need anything at all, we provide support. We provide, referrals all the time if it's not something that we provide. But we pin in the comments or the show notes. All our resources are there. Make sure you're using them, and then tell other people about them. Tell them about our videos. Send it to them an email or a text message so that they can use it for themselves to go after the money to help support their business, keep their doors open, and be able to achieve their goals, hire some new people, get new equipment. Businesses need money for all different types of reasons, right? Just because you made money, you have that invoices may go unpaid for 30, 45 days. Some of us know what we're talking about, those that have contracts, right? So while you're waiting on that funding, you need to fill the gap. So while you're waiting on SBA funding, we've been helping people get funded. So that information is there as well. That's for small business owners. You can get up to $25K same day, but we do loan up to $2 million, right? So while you're waiting, some of you all don't have to wait. You can get funded now, with the next day or within 5 days tops, just depending on how much you're asking for. So again, that information is in the show notes. Hope this has been helpful for you. I hope you all have your goals planned out for the week. Go after everything that you want. Make it happen. Stay consistent. If you want to be successful, that's my key for today. That's my major key for you today, is to stay consistent. If you stay consistent in whatever you're doing, you will be successful. Continue to be the boss with amplified impact, and continue to stay safe and in good health. Have a wonderful day.